What's good, YouTube? It's me, your boy Squiddy, back again, another video. Today I want to go over the first place Dragon Link deck that actually won the French Nationals, or the CDF, Championnat de France, which took place over the course of this weekend. And there's actually 1,500 players in the tournament, and yeah, Dragon Link ended up taking it, but his deck profile was complete in French. I know a lot of people were like wanting it in English. So yeah, I thought I'd do a quick little translation to provide his rationale and reasoning. Basically, in the beginning, they're just talking about if you wanted to say anything before the deck profile, and he just said, thank you for everyone that lent me cards. He can't remember exactly who, but he actually borrowed a lot of cards that he didn't end up using because he switched to this deck actually the night before at like 2 or 3 a.m. So, yeah, really funny. Goes into the deck profile. He says that he plays, obviously, Dragon Link with 60 cards and a couple of neat tech cards that were in it, which you'll see across the course of the profile. It starts with the engine, the rocket engine, so 3 tracer, 1 caliber, 2 reloader or recharger, double synchron, and then 3 quick launch, and actually 3 router. And the reason he did 3 router is because it's the best discard in the deck. So for things like Ravine and also I guess Chaos Space, it's just like it replaces itself, so it's free. The reason he played such a big engine is because he has to see them, and also having a second recharger was broken because you can kind of loop it off with Tracer and summon it multiple times. And then Caliber is another extender. You can actually search off Apps Router. And then also he plays these cards. So in addition to Boot Sector, he plays something called Disruptor Dragon and Rapid Trigger. Essentially, Disruptor Dragon is a card that allows you to tribute itself to summon 2 rockets from your grave. And then when it's in the grave, you can banish it to add the fusion spell Rapid Trigger, which so the fusion spell essentially allows you to pop 2 cards you control to fuse Dark Dragon monster, so you can actually make borreload Furious Dragon, which is like a Dryden. It's a quick effect. You can target 1 card in both players' field and destroy them, so super good. And then I think the guy that was recording the video made like a joke about them being anime cards. He's like, what? These cards exist? So that's kind of funny. Yeah, also another thing he says about that Disruptor Dragon is when you nib, when they nib you, when you have seal, you can basically summon it out. And then if you have 2 rockets in the grave, you can use that effect to tribute it to special summon 2 rockets from your grave. So yeah, fun little interaction there. Allows you to get an extra extender. And then you can banish to add Rapid Trigger, fuse into borreload. So you have like a non-targeting Trident. Or I guess it targets. I didn't read the card. But yeah, you have Trident fusion. And then you can also special summon it back later off of Pisty to get back to rockets. Or off a Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon. If you happen to mill Disruptor Dragon, with Chaos Dark Ruler or something. So yeah, that's basically what he says about that. And then the next engine they have, I think it's a Chaos engine. So 3 Safer, 3 Chaos Space, obviously broken. 1 of each of the baby dragons, 1 Laveneer, and then Chaos Emperor Dragon. He says that Chaos Emperor is actually an MVP because it helped him win his top 64 match. Well, he says top 65 in the video, but I think he meant top 64. He said without it, it would have lost, but it doesn't really go into detail. He just says that those cards are really good. And then he says 1 Ravine, obviously, search for Romulans. It adds, it gives you access to all your dragon engines, just by foolishing any dragon from your deck, which is especially useful because he plays 60. But then he also plays some Dragon Good Stuff engine, which is just like generic good dragon cards. So there's the 1-for-1 Red Eyes Darkness Metal Brotor, and then Red Eyes Metal Dragon, Black Metal Dragon. He said that he actually had some space left over to make 60, so he decided to put these in since Black Metal Dragon and 1-for-1 are both starters, and then Brotar is just another target off of 1-for-1 in addition to Black Metal Dragon. And then he says that Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragons are actually really good because he can special summon a lot of stuff back, including Disruptor Dragon, which basically gives you 3 monsters on board. And then he also played 2 Noctivision. He wanted to play 3, but he didn't have space, but 2 was fine. And yeah, I mean, seems pretty generic. It's really cool that you just play a lot of starters and just have like engine pieces. They also play the Dragon Maid engine, so 3 of each. Obviously, Tiding is an out to mine, he said, which is one of the biggest reasons that I decided to play it. But also, generically, the engine allows you to gain like massive advantage, in general, because you can keep summoning it back, searching another copy, and so on and so forth. Also, the trap is a disruption when they have droplet, so when they negate your board, you still have like a disruption set, which is super important. And yeah, obviously being in a mine out is super good because everyone's playing mine. And then last card he played in the Dragon Engine was the Quackamaru Drago because he was saying that he has a really abysmal Despia matchup, I guess because of the Alba Lenitus. I don't know if people are playing that, but I imagine it's pretty bad when they set Fallen of Abas to contact views. He also notes that you summon this basically off Seal, so when you have Seal, when they already like either set a monster or they summon Aluber, you bounce that, and then they basically have no other play besides either Droplet or they pass turn because they have no way to summon a Dark Monster, and they could only kind of beat over it. And then he said it was really important to main deck this because he had already had like decent matchup against every deck, except Plunder. He didn't really respect that deck, so he decided to play this card since the Despia matchup was so bad, and this is just like a one-off that you can search and basically shut off their entire deck. So yeah, that's really important. That's it for the Dragons, and then hand traps. Played 3 Gamma plus Driver, 3 Nib. Reason to play 3 Nib is because a lot of people weren't respecting it. A lot of people didn't think that would be in the main deck, and also it's a light monster, which is important, I guess, for the Chaos Ruler and the Chaos Emperor Dragon. And then he said he played Valor as well because it's a light, but the reason he played 3 Imperm over 3 Valor is because it's better going second, I guess, if you draw it as your 6th card. And then Ash, obviously, it's like just the best card in the deck as a hand trap. It's just like the best hand trap this format, probably. So yeah. Also, he said that yeah, that's about all he said, I think. Oh, and then Droplet, it's really good with the Dragon Mates and also Absolute Router because when you send it, you get the search to replace itself. And then one call by, which they say should be banned as well. And that's it for the main deck, I believe. He goes into the extra deck, 1 Striker Dragon. Actually, he makes a joke here saying that Pisty is also a second copy of Striker Dragon because more or less you just use it as a Link 1. 2 Seal, obviously broken, can special summon any dragon. Quad Burrow, they mentioned Quad Burrow being able to pop your opponent's links, which is pretty important. So if you pop a link 4, you can summon back up to 4 rocket monsters. 1 Romulus, obviously search for Bean. But the other thing is, this is really important in this deck because it's your only way. It's one of your only ways of getting rid of your own Quackamaru Drago. So when you like use Seal Bounce and summon Quackamaru Drago, because most of your deck is light and darks, you actually have no way to get rid of it. So you can one way to do it is to link off into Romulus. Obviously, being a wind, which is legal, you can link it off with Quackamaru Drago being a dragon, and then that's the way you just clear it and are able to kill them. And then Dark, because it's a generic Dark Link, it can also reborn a lot of things in the format, like Bashuda and DD Crow, just a link climb. Or even Albaz, Fallen of Albaz, because it's a level 4 to synchro with. So, yeah. Or I guess like the Despia Jester as well. And then it says, obviously, Triple Burst. It's mostly just for Pisty, because it's a link arrow that points down to activate Pisty. And then Unicorn and Access Code, standard. And Borrelend, which is a new card that just came out. He said this card is actually really, really MVP because it's basically once you get it on the board, a lot of decks have no outs except for Droplet. And you can go to this easily with Triple Burst and Pisty. So when you have those, you use Pisty effect to reborn a dragon, and then boom, you have 3 monsters that also equate to a Link 5. So you can just make that. Previously, you can only go into Access Code Talker, and it wasn't that good sometimes. But now you just have like a super power play when you don't have a way to end the game. You can still make Borrelend and also clear their board by attacking through everything. And then the 3 Synchros, because they're really, really broken. They worked out really well for him this tournament. And last but not least, 1 borreload Furious Dragon. This is the fusion target that you go into with that rocket fusion spell. It protects Quackamaru Drago from being destroyed by battle because you can use a quick effect to pop a card that's attacking it. And then more importantly, it's out to mine because it's a quick effect, so you can chain it to mine to pop it. But surprisingly, he played against no mine, so he didn't actually see mine the entire tournament and got lucky there. He built his deck to respect mine a lot, playing the Dragonmaid stuff and also this borreload Fierce Dragon, but he didn't end up seeing mine, or rather no one played it against him. And then side deck, he played 3 Token Collector for Sword Soul. He only used it twice, and it was in top 8, but it ended up winning him, or working out really well. So, yeah, that's a good card. And then the person recording the video made a joke because he plays Sword Soul. He's like, delete that card. 3 Dark Ruler, he said, in theory, is really good against decks like Punk, where they make Halka Fibrax because you get priority as turn player in main phase. So you can just negate everything before they draw Formula Synchron. But he didn't actually end up signing it in. He also thought that you could use borreload, borrelend to break the board after activating it. And then he played a bunch of back row hate, so 3 Lightning Storm, 3 Cosmic, Harpy's Red Reboot. He said he only sided in Lightning Storm against Sword Soul because and used it more like a Raigeki because you could get rid of obviously Shishao and like the Long Yon if they put it in attack mode. And then Cosmic is also good going first because he wanted something against decks that were playing Adventure, etc. I guess it's good against Union Hanger as well. And then second, it's good against banishing decks that have Scythe Lock because you can just chain it to banish the Scythe. And then the last card was Phantasme. The reason why he only played one is because he had 14 inside and didn't know what to fill it in with. And because he saw that Sky Striker won the YCS Hartford, he figured that a lot of people might be on it. So he thought it'd be good to play it. If he drew it, he drew it. If he didn't, he didn't. That was his reasoning. It's also one thing to know. I guess it's also searchable with Safer using Noctivision because you can send a 7 to add that, which is pretty strong, I guess, against Sky Striker. Also, obviously, being synergy, being a dark and a dragon in his deck, especially, is important because he can basically link off into anything using it. So yeah, that's really about it, I think. And then at the end, he just gives a couple of shout outs to his team, everyone who lent him his cards. And he says that he borrowed the deck. He built the deck again at 4 a.m. on the morning on, I guess, Saturday night, so like late into Friday. And yeah, that's about it. Yeah, I'm going to try and make some more translations if there are more profiles from the event. So definitely leave a subscribe, leave a comment, and let me know what you guys think. Deuces.